Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it is me again, Insane Gorilla, and welcome back to my channel. Now, I hope you enjoyed the part of What if Deku was a Mandalorian? I noticed that I only got 3 likes on that, so clearly I had screwed up on something. I do apologize. But let's see if we can get it above 3. My target for this is a straight 10. If we can get up to 10, I would make a next part. And this, I will add, has you all in mind. If you want a character being put in, please let me know in the comments. I'll try my best to remember the characters' names. If I don't remember and I do pause, it's most probably me trying to remember their names or I'm getting pulled away. So, if I do quote unquote cock up, I do apologize. But anyway, this is the next part. What if Deku was a Mandalorian? We last left off. His grandfather had a slight spell cast upon him, where he fainted due to realizing he was a grandfather. Now, this is several months after the fact. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Zuko Midoriya. 4 months after arriving on Mandalore, and it had been nothing but training. Zuko wasn't a fighter. Well, not in the extent that people were trying to make him into one. This was his heritage after all. Fighting was something he had always been bred for in the Mandalorian culture. It doesn't mean he didn't like it. Smack, bang, wallop. The sounds of a grunt would be heard in the training hall. As a Mandalorian for a different clan would be shaking his wrists. "Come on, boy, get up," he'd say. Zuko groans, slowly gets up, then gets kicked in the face. "I said, get up." Zuko gets up slowly. He's breathing heavily. He's still not used to it 100%. But he's getting used to tasting dirt more often. Above the training field, Mandalore himself would be shaking his head. "Your boy's soft, Inko." "I know, father," should say. Her helmet, her Mandalorian helmet, one that she'd finally been able to get from Earth, in her arm, or underneath her right arm. "My boy's trying. You have to give him his dues." Yes, he is trying, and I can give him his dues for that. But you should have started teaching him when he got to 8 years old. A grown woman beating her son, yeah, real mature. And really gonna earn me Mother of the Year awards. You allowed that man's influence to taint the way you work. You used to be 10 times more ruthless than this. Motherhood makes every woman have a change in attitude eventually. And when I heard I was going to be a mother, I wanted to teach my son on how to fight. But my husband showed me an easier path. Let the warrior history come in if he wanted. The warrior history could be a part of his life. Softness. Mother was just as bad, father, and you know it. Just be happy you've got a grandson that is willing to try and become like his grandfather and mother and his uncle. Just be glad. Inko walks away. Her father shaking his head. Yeah, really? Starting to yawn again. He then eventually walks down himself. His grandson had been laid out on the floor for like the 50th time. When Izuku sees him, he just weakly grins. Hey, grandfather. Hey to you too, Sprout. So, you gonna lie there all day, or are you gonna actually get up and try again? It's a bit hard, you know? Trying to fight, well, virtually your relatives, in a way. Not all Mandalorians are from the same clans. We all got our own traditions, rules, and regulations. I know, I know. Izuku slowly sits up, groaning as he felt his ribs pop a few times. As he slowly gets on to his feet. I just wish I got used to the galaxy, you know? Earn your Mandalorian armor first. Then you might actually be able to go and see the rest of the galaxy. He walks away. Zuko sighs, cracking his back as he felt pain. As he walked away, up on the rafters, some dark armored Mandalorians would be watching. They wouldn't be saying anything, just staying silent. Until one of them moved and left. The others looked at that individual, shook their heads together. In Mandalore's office, the Mandalorian himself, Mandalore, would be doing his most dreaded of enemies, paperwork, until he felt a pair of slender arms go around his chest. He leans back, his helmet clanging against someone else's. Hello, Spectus. Spectus would giggle. That's not my name, idiot. As she would walk around the chair and sit on his desk right in front of him, so he had no other choice than to look at her. Her dark armor blending in nicely with the shadows every time. When she finally took her helmet off, her tanned skin showing how often she stays in the sun, as she puts her helmet to the side. Your nephew, your grandson, is actually quite interesting. I wonder how long it would be until you break him entirely. That is not I know, my dear, I know. That is not what you're trying to do, but if you continue pushing him, he's going to break. And even I know that a broken child is always never a good thing. Try and be a bit more nicer to him. I'll try. That's all I ask. So what do you want, Sarah? Oh, can't your future wife say hello? After all, you were 14 when you had that other woman. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, I know. You're 34. Still a ripe age. He slapped her hand away. What do you want? Seriously this time, what do you want? As much as I'd love to cuddle with you, what do you want? Spoil sport. Fine, fine, fine. Be that way. My clan is still thinking about the joining, although a group of us were here just not too long ago. I think most of them have gone back to the ship by now, while I came to visit you. I really do need your clan. Your clan are the best stealth experts we know of. Most of my people are too busy hung up on honors and regaining past glories. I know. I know. But you have to remember, not all of us are willing to follow you, Mandalore. Not from lack of trying, but from the lack of trust. As you know, the last Mandalore, Duchess Satine, we don't talk about that woman. She did her best to keep our people alive without the warrior traditions. And look where that got her. Dead as a doornail. Yes, it doesn't help with the Shadow Collective of Mandalorians who follow Maul still being out there. Maul will get what is coming to him, my dear. Have no worries about that, at least. Not for now. But remember, your nephew is not as strong as us Mandalorians. As full-blooded Mandalorians, that is. It's a weakness that I'm gonna beat out of him one day. Weaknesses are only weaknesses when the person themselves finally conquers them. He is not used to our Mandalorian ways. Once he's finally fully embraced us, only then will his confidence soar. And you'll have more than just a Mandalorian. You could possibly have a successor to your Mandalorian ideals. His mother won't be able to stop it, of course. But just remember, Mandalore, everyone has their weak points. And like you have your weak points for beautiful girls. She runs a finger across his lips as she seductively gets off his desk and walks behind him, grabbing her helmet. She leans in and lifts his helmet, enough for his ear to be seen, along with most of his head. And just remember, keep the bed warm, for when I return, it will most probably be with half of my clan, and I expect a good rumble in the bed sheets. She slides his helmet back down as she walks into the shadows. 20 minutes later, knowing that she's finally gone. Bloody woman. She knows how to get a man hot underneath the collar. As he goes back to doing his paperwork, Rizuku, he'd be in the medical bay yet again. You tried to fight another Mandalorian with a wooden training sword, and ended up having one hell of a scar going across his right eye. Apparently that one was in one hell of a bad mood, and definitely taught Izuku not to pick a fight he knew he couldn't win. But hey, a quick back spray and it would be quickly healed. And Izuku would be walking down the corridor as he would not be paying attention. He accidentally walks into another Mandalorian's room. He looks up from his feet to see a girl bending over. No towel, no nothing. Pure naked skin. He could see her body scars. But he could see her half robotic arm that was nearly up to her shoulder blade. She'd be looking at him, a blush slowly creeping across her face. Scars on her face as well go slightly deeper crimson to her blushing. She then screams pervert as she starts throwing stuff at him. Izuku dodges and weaves, screaming sorry, wrong room, as he bolts. A few minutes later, the woman comes bursting out, fully armored, chasing him, saying, "Get back here, you fucking pervert." Everybody'd be wondering who the hell was screaming so much about perverts. Everybody just shakes their heads. Most probably some Mandalorian female was wronged in a game or something like that. Then they see Mandalorian's nephew running away, madly blushing, screaming something about sorry, wrong room, wrong room, wrong room. Must have seen two Mandalorians going at it or something like that. That is until I heard, "Get back here, you effing pervert. I'll effing cut off your effing area and make you a woman." As she goes running past. Both Mandalorians covered in nuts. Like, they had never seen a woman so pissed off before. Both of them look at each other. Both of their helmets luckily covering their mortified faces. I think we both know not to piss her off. Yeah, his other friend would say, as both of them quickly make a hasty retreat. Inko would be walking out from a meeting room, sighing. They just received another report from some of their Mandalorian spies out there. The Empire seemed to be mobilizing against, well, some major pirate groups somewhere in the Outer Rim. Until she heard her boy come running past her, screaming about, "Just stop swearing at me. I'm sorry." Her eyebrow raises slightly, like, "What have you done?" kind of look, until she heard a woman screaming something about bloody murder, and removing particular parts to make him no longer a man. A girl with black and red hair would run past. She would sigh, shaking her head, and starts following them in a good run, not really wanting her son to, well, lose his manhood. She does want to have grandkids someday. When she finally gets to the training hall, Izuku's on the floor being virtually choked out, and, well, an arm being thrown into his face. Inko flies over with her jetpack and kicks the girl in the face, sending her sliding across the floor. "Enough!" Inko would shout. The girl would look up, her eyes blazing with female fury. But when she saw a Mandalorian from the Fire Burns clan, she growls, "What do you want?" The woman takes off her helmet. "I am the boy's mother, and I suggest you stop punching my son in the face and tell me what's going on." The girl growls, "Idril, Clan Ren. That fucking pervert of a son of yours walked in on me naked. He deserves the beating I'm giving him. My son is unconscious due to the beating you've already given him. Now, I will ask my son why he walked in on you. He was most probably still confused from the last beating he got given. So he most probably miscalculated on where the room he was meant to be in was. Idril growls, but eventually walks away. Inko sighs. She picks her son up, throws him over her shoulder, and walks off to their room. Well, the room she shares with him. Once she puts him down, Izuku starts groaning as he starts saying something about the license plate of the freight train that just hit him. Inko couldn't help but have a slow, small smile etch across her lips. Her son was so out of it. Eventually, Izuku woke up, rubbing the back of his neck in pain. Ah, my head. Good morning, sleepyhead. Is it morning or afternoon? Oh, it's definitely afternoon. Yay. Izuku shakes his head. Reminder never to ask the freight train to forgive, because clearly she will not forgive. Inko snorts. Yes, I heard what happened. Let me guess, you forgot where the door was again. Nope, I generally forgot which door I was meant to go through. I was more focused on my feet than anything else, seeing if I could actually count my toes, because I swore I lost a few. Because my balance was all over the place. Whatever, Izuku. Come on, let's get you to bed. Yay, I'm definitely gonna need more sleep after this. Izuku finally gets into the bed that he was given when he got here. Inko kisses him on the cheek, then disappears into another meeting. More months would go by, and Izuku would have eventually won his right to wear Mandalorian armor. Which, speaking of, which was basically this. Something the armorers sorted out for him, as he gave a specific design to make it look like this. His grandfather looked at him. Very unique. Very unique. Shout out, by the way, to the creator of this armor design, by the way. Izuku smiles underneath his helmet, thankful that his grandfather actually appreciates this kind of work of craftsmanship. You're quite unique in your design. I have to admit, it was rather odd hearing that you had a design for your own armor set. You still got the T-visor, which is good. You've made it more angular, more old school Mandalorian. Back in the Great Mandalorian Wars, way back when. Before even my great grandfather was even born. Thank you, grandfather, as you could say. You're most welcome, my boy. Now, please. Here. Izuku would have a cadre of weapons to pull from. Pick any weapon you'd like to take. You can always have more weapons if you need them, or if you feel like the weapons will no longer suit your needs. Izuku pulls a blaster pistol, looks at it, feels its weight, and slots it into I'm going to say a a chest holster. So he has it pointing where the barrel's pointing upwards, so you can just simply unclip it and shoot. He then looks around a bit more often. He picks up a rifle, feels the weight of it, then shakes his head and puts it down. He then walks up to the next one, feels the weight of the weapon, feeling its weight, feeling if it's got a bit more potential to have a bit of an oomph behind it. He shakes his head again, then to the next weapon and to the next. Eventually, he comes to the melee weapons. Vibro daggers, he shakes his head at. A Vibro sword, he felt the weight of it, felt good. He then picked up two of them, put them side by side, and he realized something. If he had them a bit shorter, he then goes up to an armorer and asks to have two vibro swords melted down and put into one. He then draws a mold that he wanted. It was peculiar, but the armorers made it within a few days. When they crafted it, Izuku swung it at a few targets. He could see where the damage would be revealed, and he liked it. His jetpack was put on his back afterwards. As he began his training in the Flying Phoenix, a so-called prestige that all Mandalorians should have, Izuku trained relentlessly, and within a few minutes, or a few days, I should really be putting it, Izuku was getting used to it pretty quickly. When his uncle arrived, Rai, Izuku would say, surprised. Rai would smile. Hello, Izuku. Come on. There's a job that I want to do with you. Really? What kind of job? We are going to Dantooine, similar to Earth, with its greenery, but very, very few cities. We are chasing down a Rhodian called Neopaka. Neopaka. Yes, Neopaka. The client wants him alive. Why not get any other bounty hunter to do this? We're Mandalorians. Yes, but we have a reputation for selling our skills to the highest bidder. We do this in order to get the credits that we're going to need. Come on. So Izuku walks with his uncle. He sees Idril of Clan Ren walking past. Izuku does kind of move his head to look at Ren walking past. His uncle sees this, underneath his helmet smiles. It's clear that Idril has a slight admirer. Izuku moves his head back to look at the front again. Idril, on the other hand, looks back, seeing the blue armored figure walking away. Her eyebrows knit together as she swears she felt his eyes on her butt. She walks away. She has her own business to do, mainly with her matriarch. Zuko and his uncle get onto a ship, well, onto a gauntlet ship. Flies. Zuko's not really trained to fly a ship just yet. So, Dantooine, what can we expect from weather patterns and all that? Zuko would take his helmet off. Weather patterns, predators. Dantooine has a few weather patterns. There are a few storms that roll across the planet once in a while. Not massive, but not small either. Enough to make the planet have a wet season. I see. Anything else I should be aware of? There are a few predators, but be aware they are considered to be quite dangerous, especially when they start getting into packs. Just remember, not every enemy can be killed in a single shot. So the Rhodian, where is he? In some old ruins that have been abandoned for centuries. The ruins are nesting grounds for Nilex. Nilex are fire-breathing insects, so you have to be very wary of them. I understand, Uncle. Good. Now, Nyctris will be in the ruins somewhere. We just have to find him. Carbon freeze him, then take him. Where's our client? Now Hutter, one of the huts. Those giant slugs? Yes, but don't call them that. That's one quick way of finding yourself dead. Mandalorian or not. Very well. I'll keep my mouth shut. Very good. Let me do all the talking. You won't know the hut's language at all. Although they are all very, very, very good at speaking basic English. The huts choose to speak their own language. I see. This should be very interesting. Arrive on Dantooine. They land with a solid thump. Both Zuko and his uncle step off. They're in a small town, or small settlement. Once the people see the Mandalorians, a lot of people back off. Is there a reason why they back off? Mandalorians have a reputation for being the most ruthless hunters and the most ruthless warriors. It's just precautions on everybody else's part. Very well. Until someone speaks out. Well, well, well. Blast me silly. Is that really you? Rye? Rye looks over to his left. Ha. Shiro, he'd say, walking up to a woman. She'd walk up to him, her own Mandalorian armor still on. Both of them hug. It's been good. It's good to see you again, old friend. Good to see you too, Shiro. Both of them would look at each other, not saying a word. Zuko just swears he could see the doughy eyes in both of their facial expressions. Right. Shiro, this is Zuko, my nephew. Shiro would walk up to him. She would have a pleasant smile as she reaches out a hand. Shiro, plan not. Well, Clan Revis. Izuku. Clan Fireburn. Izuku would shake her hand. She would nod. Good to see you, kid. So you must be the new kid I've been hearing so much about. Over the comm radios and rumors. Mandalore's very first nephew. And he didn't even know you existed until recently. Got to admit, impressive armor. Thanks, I guess. Anyway, you're not here to talk to me. You're here for a bounty, aren't you? Yeah, a Rhodian. Seen him? If it's a Rhodian you're talking about, then yeah, my client wants him too. Dead. Huts? No, a different group. They just want him dead purely because they don't like him. Really, what a dumb reason. That's as much as I got from the briefing I got. But if you want him dead, I'd much rather let you have him. Because honestly, those guys creep me out. Those guys are real sadists. Really? Yeah, they had black and red armor with horns on their heads. Shadow Collective. Our Mandalorian brothers and sisters that follow Maul. Oh, seriously? That twit? Okay. Ugh. Well, that's the last I'm dealing with them. I didn't even see any helmets at all. Just saw black and red armor, and that's it. I didn't realize that they're Shadow Collective. As soon as you mentioned the horns, that's immediately when I knew that they were part of the Shadow Collective. Fair enough. Well, as long as you don't mind me joining you on this. Not at all. Is there something going on between you two? Because I swear you two are about to go down and start fucking each other. Zuko. Shiro blushed underneath her helmet. Not yet. This guy hasn't asked me out on a date yet. She slaps him in the ass. Gah! What the hell, Shiro? Shiro quickly walks off, giggling and saying I didn't do anything. His uncle just sighs, shakes his head, and says women. Izuku just gives him the knowing look that says, yeah, I know that's what you're not trying to actually say. So they all walk off together. Izuku's super getting annoyed that his uncle's clearly flirting with a Mandalorian woman who's clearly interested in him. He doesn't have a girlfriend himself, but even he can see that she's interested. She's flirting. She wants him. Either his uncle's too dense, or he's reading into it, a bit too much. They've finally reached the ruins. The Noctis bugs. Yep, looks like they're just the hatchlings this time. Yeah, it looks like someone's been here recently. A few of them are dead. Yeah. Seriously, how the hell can you guys see that? Even I can't see it. Try tapping your helmet, Izuku. You might be able to zoom in a bit more. Izuku does. Whoa! Too close. There we go. Okay, yeah, now I'm starting to see what you're seeing. More than just a few dead by the looks of it. You've only just seen that? Shiro would take her helmet off, pulling back the zoom in function. She looks around, personally, without the helmet on. If I was reading it right, there's an entrance to the east over there. Also, a vehicle bay to the west. Looks like our Rhodian friend's got a few friends. Our Rhodian quarry has a few friends. And it looks like they are based up there on the roof, to the side, over near the front door, and a group to the vehicle bay. And the people on the roof are in perfect positions to give either of them a hand. Split up their forces. 2 hit the door at the front, 1 hits the back. No. 2 hit both front and the back, 1 hits the top. Whoever's going up to the top is going to have one hell of a problem. Because look, one of them even has rockets. Well, so do we, so why don't we all decide of what's going to happen? What do you have in mind, Izuku? Easy. We've got rockets. Fire them off our jetpacks. Hit the top. They'll either scatter or get hit. The other groups will come running to see what happened. Lead them right into the bugs. You know, that's actually a pretty good plan. Here, I thought you'd come up with a good plan. That's a genius one. Only one problem. What happens if the bugs also come a calling? Because remember, those bugs could also start sniffing us out at any time. And we better give them something actually to eat. Zuko steps forward. His visor, zooming in, targeting the one mercenary with a rocket launcher. Ow, that's my knee. And sorry if you keep on hearing that click sound. That is literally my knee. Zuko gets ready. His uncle and Shiro would also get ready. Both of them having a small visor clip coming down to target. As they target some individuals, all 3 of them lean forward, have their heads down as they fire the missiles. They look up. They could see the top group scatter as explosions rock the top. Rocket guys down. Yeah, we got a few snipers too. Didn't see them till we locked on. And sure enough, the people from both front and back run up to see what happened. Right into the bugs. Alright, jetpacks on, fly over. All 3 fly off. And actually, the opening, there was a big old opening. And they saw their target running around like a madman. Bingo. They fly through the roof, smashing the glass. As they all fly in, all bring out their the blasters, and start firing. The mercenaries fire upwards, but their Beskar armor deflects as much rounds as possible. As they fire down, they eventually land. Zuko, firing his pistol, nails the target in the shoulder, causing him to fall over and howl in pain. The others would be firing at his bodyguards. They'd be falling down like a scythe through wheat. Zuko sees one last of their target's bodyguards stand up with a repeating blaster rifle. He aims and fires. Smack between the eyes. The last bodyguard falls down. Zuko felt a bit queasy. After all, he did just kill someone. And he was shaking rather badly. This was his first kill. His uncle knocked out their target, tied him up, and put him in, carbonite for safer travels. He then looks to his nephew, who was clearly panicking, having a panic attack. Before he could go over, Shiro took his helmet off and pulled the kid into her own embrace. She had a nephew herself, so she knew how to quickly calm someone down. She immediately put his head into her shoulder, either into her shoulder or into her chest, and she hushed him, saying, "It's okay to be scared. It's okay to have panic attacks. Just calm down." Kazuki he didn't care. He just held on to her and just sobbed. He didn't mean to. He keeps on repeating, he didn't mean to, he didn't mean to. He just reacted. Shiro just softly rubbed his back. Said if it wasn't for him, she would have been dead. Not really. The Beskar armor would have deflected the shot, but it was the thought that counted. Izuku said that he didn't feel good. He quickly ripped himself away from her, embraced, took his helmet off, and immediately puked. First kills were always terrible. Shiro would walk up to him and softly rub on the back of his neck, because she couldn't rub the rest of his back. His uncle walked up as well. His hand also did the same, but on Izuku's head. Izuku just puked and puked, until finally he had nothing left to bring up but dry heaving. Come on, let's get out of here. Our target's secured. Be glad that you got rid of all the stuff in your stomach, because now Hutta stinks like hell. Shiro walks with him. Of course, once they get outside, they see the corpses of the burned mercs and the dead, well, bugs. They just had to clean out the rest of the bugs and that was it. Their armor was a little bit scorched because of those fire-breathing bugs, but nothing else really bad happened. After Izuku had finished puking and everybody had finally gotten back to the ship, they headed off to Nashida. But Rai would turn his seat around to look at Shiro. "So, Shiro, where's the rest of the clan?" "Oh, the rest? They're on the way to Mandalore. They should be there by now." "Huh. So the rest of your people decided to join up?" "Yeah, they have decided that they're going to join." "Beautiful. Love having your people around." "Don't mention it. We'll be there soon." "Do you think your employers will come try to haunt you?" "If they're Mandalorians who've got any sense of honor, they wouldn't even do it. But if they are part of the Shadow Collective, honor's gone a long time ago." "Well, let's just hope we get to not to Nashida, to Nal Hutta." After they land, they can definitely see the criminal organizations all around. But for Mandalorians, yeah, even the local pirate groups know to keep their distance. They find a hut. As he wasn't speaking Huttese. "Ah, Mandalorians." The hut would sliver up to them. "I take it this is the one that Nalukane, the hut, has asked for." "This is, indeed. It is nice to see a hut speaking basic instead of Huttese. I could always speak Huttese if you wish, but I do prefer to speak basic. It makes communications easier to handle for myself." I will take the prize off your hands. My mistress is currently in a meeting of the Hutt clans themselves. Here are the credits you were offered. This is enough. You better not be trying to swindle us, though. Never, never backstab a Mandalorian, especially if you want to live for the next year. Wise choice, Hutt. Wise choice. Indeed, very wise choice. The Hutt would take the bounty off the Mandalorian's hands and pay them the exact amount, or a little bit extra. Appreciate it. All three Mandalorians turn around. Izuku, after getting back on board the ship, took his helmet off. Car, that did stink and all. Told you it would. How the Mandalorian, how in all of Mandoa do we end up with the Hutts being our biggest clients? No idea. But all three fly to Mandalore to see several more ships arriving. Ah, the rest of the clan. Good, they've arrived. And it looks like some other ships too. How many ships do your clan have? Around about 4. That's around about 8. So another clan must have turned up. So all ships fly down into Mandalore's orbit. All ships land, and all Mandalorians walk on to the new platforms. Who are those with the dark armor? The Shadow Clan. Huh, never thought to see them again. The Shadow Clan? Think of them as Mandalorian assassins / infiltration experts. They are considered the most dangerous out of all of the clans, and sometimes the most forbidden to even be anywhere near any other Mandalorian. Considering that they are isolationists and don't like talking to others, something big must have gone down in their clan, because it looks around about half of them have turned up. Half? They've got around about twice as many Mandalorians in their clan than anybody else. They've got around about what? 8 gauntlet ships? Pretty much. And there's 8 of them, so there's 4 of them, so there must be half of the clan that decided to turn up. The rest must be sticking out of it. But why wouldn't they all come when Mandalore ordered them to? One of the Shadow Clan members would see them walk up. She would remove the helmet. I see you're focusing on us. Is there a reason? Where's the rest of your clan? They're not interested in what Mandalore has to say. We are. And that's why half the clan's here. I'm going to try and convince the rest of my clan to come. Fair enough. It's good to see your clan here anyway. It's good to be home. The woman would turn around and slide her helmet back over her head. Zuko swore she had a glint of mischief in her eyes. Zuko shook it off. There's no way a Mandalorian woman would already be interested in him. Plus, she looked a lot older than he was. And no offense to any person who does this, but he isn't interested in older women. So he walks with his uncle and clearly his girlfriend, even though they just haven't announced it to anybody yet. When they finally walk into the palace, it's a buzz of activity due to 2 clans turning up all at once. So it was a bit of a hectic moment. Mandalore himself seemed to be aware of the Shadow Clan turning up. but not Clan Noctis turning up. He, so even he was a bit baffled by the sudden arrival of these two groups all at once. He was expecting the Shadow Clan, yeah, but Noctis, oof, he wasn't expecting it. Zuko and his uncle went to the treasury and put the credits into the treasury itself. Clearly, the treasury was meant for something. When Zuko walks out into the wide open air of, well, slightly toxic air, considering that most of the planet is still dead, zoned area, he sees a massive vessel flying overhead. Clearly, it was a new vessel. As he looks up at it, magnificent, isn't it? Izuku looks over to his left. Surprised. It was Idril. Idril, he would say. Zuko, should say with a slightly snarky tone. What kind of ship is that? Called the Predator, or the Predator ship. It's an old design. It's most probably coming here to be recycled. The Predator? The Predator ship vessels? Huh. Seems to have enough weapons on there to level a city. Trust me, it does. It has enough weapons to level a city and possibly deal with 2 Star Destroyers from the Imperials. Anything I should really know about everything else about these ships? They're fucking dangerous to be on, for starters. So many reactor leaks these days. Thank God it's finally being scrapped for something new. Ouch. Don't say ouch to me. What are you doing out here anyway? Oh, just need some air, that's all. You won't get anything with the helmet on. Zuko finally takes it off. As he just breathes and sits down on the edge. Idril sitting next to him. So, I take it 2 new clans decided to turn up all at once. Yeah, the Shadow Clan and Noctis, as you could say. Idril would scoff. Of course the assassins would turn up, wouldn't they? Those damn assassins have no honor. Everything has honor in it. You just need to find a good silver lining for it to be honorable. That's all. Of course you'd be on their side, wouldn't you? Honor means everything to a Mandalorian. Yes, but not everybody needs to be honor bound for traditions. What kind of backwards logic is that? It's not backwards logic. It's me trying to make logical choices that wouldn't offend people. Whatever. Both would sit in amicable silence. Till she finally sighs. Well, Idril finally sighs. Look, about when I punched you in the face. Don't worry about it. I've already forgiven you. You're too easily trusting. I know. But it's not from the lack of trying. I just generally don't find it very, I don't know, polite to constantly have a scowl about something. Just don't come crying to anybody else when you have a blade in your back. I won't be. Good. I hate crybabies. Idril finally gets up and walks away, leaving Izuku. Izuku and looks at her retreating form as he watched her hips. As he starts wondering, why is he starting to feel so attracted to her? Maybe it was his Mandalorian blood starting to kick in. Or maybe he's just liking women with thick thighs. He shakes his head. If Bakugo ever caught him staring at a girl like that, he'd be the laughing stock of the century. On Earth, Bakugo would sneeze, wondering who's talking about him. Most probably one of those damn extras in UA. He doesn't know what happened to Izuku, but he's definitely going to try and find him. And any villain that's hurt his family, or his friend, well, he's going to make sure that their life is a living hell. Anyway, Izuku would stay there for the rest of the day, just looking up at the sky. As he eventually would stand up and turn around, only to see a woman wearing dark armor. God, Jesus! I've been calling you kid for a while. You've only just realized? I didn't even hear you. No doubt. Your uncle's been looking for you. Come on. He's asked me to come and find you and bring you back. You're part of the Shadow Clan, right? Yep. I'm the one who spoke to you earlier. Come on. Zuko jogs to keep up as he puts his helmet back on. The woman does the same as they get on a speeder and fly off back to the capital, or back to the palace. As they both land. Found him, the woman would shout over to Rai and look up. Finally! Where was he? He was out on the wall, or out on the docking bay, just staring up at the sky. Called him several times. He eventually woke up. Sorry, Zuko would say. Don't be sorry, Zuko. Just happy to see that you're safe. Thank you, Murray. Don't mention it. Should walk off. Sorry to worry you, Uncle. It's okay, Zuko. Just don't do it again. Right. What's wrong? Nothing. Just need to know where you were. Your mother's doing her hidden. Worried about you. I guess I better go and apologize. Don't worry about it. Clan's having a meeting. Come on. A meeting or a feast? Mainly a feast. But everybody claims it's a meeting. Nothing's really going to be important. You take this way too lightly, Uncle. Yeah, someone's got to keep the mischief up. Come on. Let's sit down and have something to eat before everybody else eats their due on our account. Both sit down and begin eating. Mandalore speaks to them all about, speaks to a few of the older individuals about certain things. Izuku tries to blend in to the background, mainly keeping himself out of their circle because he's not quite sure if he's actually fully accepted yet. Some of the kids find him and drag him away, like, come on, come play with us for a bit. So Izuku does. He talks to the kids, they tell him about Mandalorian history. Basically, when they said come play, it was basically them saying, come on, let's teach you everything that we know. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So Izuku learned a bit more about his heritage. Not that he was not interested, he was. He needed to know these kinds of things. And so he'd usually talk and mess around with the kids. Eventually, the kids would go home, and Zuki would lean up against the wall, finally having a bit of time to himself to digest all of the information he was given, until someone walks up beside him, gently pats him on the side. Hmm? Come on, Zuko. Come on inside. Sure thing, Mother, he'd say, turning around and walking in with her. Outside, however, something slowly emerged. It wasn't a human. No. It was a droid. Floating. Silent. Until it started beeping. Two antennae raised up on its head, sending something before its two antennae came back down and it floated away. Zuko walked inside, not seeing, not hearing, not knowing anything. As he sat down, had some more food, spoke with a few of the adults who'd give him a bit of a rundown of what was going on. And eventually, Zuko went to bed, took his armor off, went to have a shower, came back in, lay down and, well, slept. Woke up in the morning, put his armor on, and well, it was really peculiar, really. Mandalore had a mission for him, but he needed someone else to go. Someone he really didn't mind working with as long as she didn't try to kill him. Idril. She walked in, her metal arm having a helmet underneath her, well, in between her arm and ribs. She walked up. So, take it you're the one I'm working with? Yeah. Let's hope we can get along. Sure. Although I don't see why he wants us on a scouting mission. She throws her helmet on. Zuko puts his on. Both of them get aboard the gauntlet ship. Idril, who's a good pilot anyway, taps on the controls and they lift off. Here are the coordinates. Gone. They leave Atmo. Once she pushes the throttle forwards, boom, they disappear. That's where I'm ending it, people. I hope you all like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.